Trees are an image that everyone is familiar with because we learned to draw them at such an early age. Our teacher pointed out that since trees are something we all know how to draw, it makes the transition into use of therapeutic art a lot easier for the client. This is why I chose to represent the history of art therapy by creating my own three-dimensional tree. As we grow in experience, each of us forms our own unique mental representations. Mental representations are internal images of external stimuli viewed through our own personal filters of emotion and memory. Since each person's world is different, and how we internalize that world varies, the type of tree the client draws can give the therapist insight into the client's personality and issues very quickly. Each part of the tree, the roots, the trunk, and the branches, all represent a part of art therapy's history. The roots, down here, represent people that contributed to the beginning of art therapy. Sigmund Freud is famous for founding psychoanalytical therapy, but he was also the first to use art images to help clients tap into the unconscious. He often had patients draw their dreams as a way to express their id and ego desires while bypassing the superego censor. His exploration of the power and importance of the unconscious was essential to prepare the field for the introduction of art therapy. His daughter, Anna Freud, also used art as a part of the therapeutic process, especially when she worked with children. Freud's associate, Carl Jung, took Freud's use of artistic expression in therapy and internalized it. He used it to guide himself through his own emotional struggles. He was so impressed by the improvement of his own mental health through using art, he encouraged his own patients to use art as a part of the therapeutic process. The next major contributor to the field was Florence Kane, a psychologically informed art teacher. She never considered herself an art therapist, but she did contribute to the field. She created the scribble drawing. The scribble drawing starts with the client freely scribbling on a piece of paper with their eyes closed for a predetermined amount of time. The client then opens their eyes, goes back, and picks out shapes, highlighting and coloring them in. The client and the therapist then work together to analyze the results and discover the client's unconscious conflicts. The trunk is composed of two spiral pieces that mirror each other, all the way the length of the tree. Here's one, and here's the other. They go all the way up. They represent the two major approaches to art therapy that involve separately but nearly simultaneously under the influence of art therapy founders Margaret Naumburg and Edith Kramer. Art therapy founder Margaret Naumburg was the first to call art therapy its own area of practice, and she stressed the use of art as a tool to aid in the therapeutic process. She coined the term dynamic art therapy to describe her brand new approach to therapy. She used art mostly to help express subconscious conflicts by having clients free associate to the images they drew. She emphasized a psychoanalytically driven approach to art therapy, and she relied mostly on the client's verbal reaction to their work, and not on the art itself. The other spiral represents Edith Kramer, the second major art therapy theoretician. Kramer believed that art could be used to sublimate drives and provide a safe outlet for emotions and conflicts. She believed that the act of creating was healing in itself and advocated a more art as therapy approach and less an art in therapy approach. The supporting connections between these spirals represent people who help support Edith Kramer or Margaret Naumburg, or who otherwise made contributions to the field. So here and here, the pieces that are essential to holding these spirals up, because without them, the entire tree would collapse in on itself. Kramer worked with Dr. Viola Bernard to develop the artist therapy approach. Dr. Bernard was the first to call Kramer an art therapist, a name Kramer passed down to those who continue her work today. Kramer also worked closely with her mentor, artist Friedel Dicker, who's considered the grandmother of art therapy. Kramer and Dicker witnessed the positive impact of art making for the first time when they were creating art with political refugees who had fled to America from Nazi Germany. Before that, Kramer hadn't really considered the use of art in a therapeutic way with non-artists. These women tree are actually where a lot of the growth takes place. And the branches of this tree represent the current and future therapists and patients that will grow the discipline. An example is the open studio process. It's a modern take on artist therapy. It provides at-risk and troubled youth a safe place for self-expression, surrounded by a supporting network of peers and adults, professional therapists, professional artists, professional art therapists, psychologists, people from the community. The branches are both intertwined and flexible. See, they flex. And that helps capture the spirit of cooperation and exploration that characterizes the modern world of art therapy. The use of feathers as leaves symbolizes those that live within the tree, so to speak. Becoming part of the tree, since every art therapist that practices in the field today helps shape the future of art therapy. It's such a relatively new field that every little bit makes a big difference. Both art therapy and the beautiful old oak tree this piece is modeled on started small and had to grow, adapt, and fight to become what they are today.